If you want to understand why you feel your life is on autopilot, then the following video from my trusted Pathway to Purpose blueprint is for you. Check it out. Okay, so welcome back to this video, which I'm calling on autopilot. So this is taking the previous video where we talked about the age of conversations, and we're taking this up to the next level because we're really starting to see now where all of this preconditioning that we have, especially from our younger times in life, our childhood predominantly, how that's running our lives, how that's keeping us on autopilot, how that's got us to where we are in our life right now. So hopefully in this short video, I'm going to help us to look at in more detail, how these old patterns of behavior are leading to exactly the same results that we're always getting in our life. And we're going to do that by observing that all of our actions, all of our behaviors, all of our thoughts, they're predetermined. And so if we're able to transform from this, if we're able to go through this, then we're going to be able to make better choices. And actually the choice is the key word there. So when I actually finally got this distinction that I'm going to talk about in a minute, it's almost like my mind exploded, and I was just open to so many new possibilities. It's almost like I discovered a new object in the universe. I can imagine sort of a Stone Age man, at that time and not knowing how to use tools to, say, cut some wood, and someone would come along and show them this axe that they'd made, with a piece of stone and a piece of wood, and it tied together, and then they were able to cut something using this stone axe, whereas before this person had been trying to break things with their hands or whatever. Imagine the revelation that person must have in that moment, the possibilities that are available to work with those tools that they'd never seen before. Suddenly the whole world takes on new meaning almost. It's almost like that with this distinction that I'm going to make for you here, as well as many of the distinctions that we'll go over within this first module. If you've not learnt about any of these concepts before, they can really open you up to new possibilities. So the distinction that I want to talk about here is the distinction between whether you are making a decision, or you're always making decisions in your life, or whether you're making a choice, whether you're choosing something. So the first time this was presented to me, I said, well, what do you mean by this? Because it's just the same thing. They're just different words for the same thing, right? Choice, decision, choice. Same thing. You choose something and you do it. You decide something, you do that. Actually, there's something quite different going on here. So let me explain. So let's look at the word decide first. So let's actually look at that. Let's look at the suffix side, C-I-D-E. What other words can we find that have side as a suffix? There's three that I can think of straight away. One would be homicide. One would be genocide. Another would be suicide. So let's look at those words. So the first one, homicide, the killing of people. Genocide, the killing of a certain kind of person. Or suicide, the killing of yourself. What do they all have in common? It's a killing off of something. There's a finality to the word. So what about decide? There is a finality to that as well, isn't there? When we decide something, that's it. We're going to decide this or we're going to decide that, and then we stick to it. That's a decision, okay? But there's also something else that's associated with decision, and that is that there is conditioning that goes along with that. So we decide on something based on something else we know. So we've got, let's say we've got two options of a job. We could be a lawyer or we could be an actor. Now, I can tell you right now, if you came with that decision there, or those two options, should I say, and you presented those to your parents at the age of 16, what are 99% of them going to say? They're going to say, oh, go for the lawyer's job. It's safe, it's good money. You know, you're going to do really, really well for yourself here. Acting, yeah, I mean, okay, you know, for some people, it can make them a fortune and they can be famous and blah, blah, blah. But for the majority of people, you know, they don't really get work, they struggle, they fail, and they end up having to do something else anyway. You know, we know that from past experience, from things that we've heard as well, even though they haven't experienced it themselves, that the lawyer is the safe bet. That's the right decision. Now you might think, okay, well, decision's a good thing because we're putting pieces of information together and logically we're coming to an answer. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to project into the future what we predict will happen. So therefore we're keeping ourselves safe. We have some kind of knowledge that that's going to be okay. But here's the thing, what happens if what you really want to do in your life is you want to be an actor? And you really don't want to be a lawyer, you don't want the long hours, you don't care how much money it is, you want to do what you love. Yet, I bet there's people out there might even be people watching this now who wanted to do acting, maybe played around with it, toyed around with it, but ended up doing something like a lawyer or something that saved, something that earned them good money. Yet they're bloody miserable. So I want you to start to think about looking at points in your life, whatever it is, especially work, but other things, maybe even the person that you've married or the place that you decided to live. You know, is this a decision or did you choose to actually do that thing? And you know, when we hear all of these things, and as I say, all this conditioning that comes up, well, you know, this is better than that, and that is better than this, and often it's to do with keeping you safe and earning money and all this sort of stuff. The reason that we decide to do certain things. So almost like all of the limitless possibilities that are available to us in all aspects of our life, they start to get closed down, they start to get shut off. All based on what we've heard, what we're conditioned by. We haven't made these things up, we're not even seeing them. You know, we see the world as we've been told to see it, right? We just created it. The world is a creation of ourselves. What we're seeing half of the time isn't real. It's almost like, think about Amazon. You know, Amazon, you can go on there. How many products are on Amazon? I don't know. It's always increasing. Lots of people can sell products on Amazon. I sell products through Amazon. But, you know, let's say there's millions of products on Amazon. You know, you can go on there and choose anything that you want. But it's almost like, you know, people are telling you things and, well, you know, you shouldn't buy this because of that and that and that and this of that. Now imagine that of all the millions of products that you can buy on Amazon, you now just think, oh, I can only buy 10 products. That's kind of what life is like. You know, when we're deciding things based on the information that we've acquired, this life that we've created for ourselves. Now, how does that compare to choice? Choice or choosing is, I think, different dictionary definition is something around, you know, it's the power or the opportunity to make a choice. You have the power. There's opportunity. There's limitless opportunity to choose exactly what it is that you want to do. And a choice, here's the difference between choice and decision. A choice isn't dependent on anything else. There is no thought. It comes from within. It's your higher self speaking out. This is what I want to do. I want to be an actor. I don't want to be a lawyer. I want to be an actor. Yeah, but you know, you might not get some work and the lawyer's the better choice. You'll get good money, you'll have a nice house, you'll be able to attract a good partner. But you want to be an actor. This is really making choice. Look again, as I said, look again in your life. Where have you actually chosen to do anything? We find that we're on complete autopilot, that we're just doing things and everything is predetermined. We're on autopilot. We're not even happy. We're not doing half of the time the things that we want to do, because making decisions is keeping ourselves safe. It's our ego kicking in and saying, well, yeah, I think I know the outcome, so that's going to keep us safe. Even though you're stuck in comfort, you're not happy, you kind of know the outcome, so that's all right. There's some kind of safety in that. Such bullshit. We're so out of alignment of what we truly want and desire within our lives that it's unbelievable. And for me, I really see that now. I mean, for me, look at, I became a scientist. I was a scientist for 10 years. I ended up really hating that career. Yeah, and I got to a point where I'd studied and I was looking at, getting into work, and I was considering, well, should I do something else? But for me, it was just, well, you've invested so much time in this. This is the right choice. You're going to be able to get a good job and blah, 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 blah. But I knew intuitively that it's not what I want to do. Yet I continued to do it for another 10 years. There was no choice made there whatsoever. It was all decision. But here's the thing. If decision is based on us trying to carve out some sort of understanding of what will happen for us in the future to keep us safe, even though we know it might not keep us happy or may not bring us fulfillment in life, choosing or choice is going into the unknown. You choose to do something. You choose to be the actor in that scenario that I've been talking about. You don't know what's going to happen. You could be, the biggest movie star or stage actor in the world. Or you might not get anything. You simply don't know, but you won't know until you follow your dreams. Imagine if Jack Nicholson or Al Pacino or, I don't know, Robert De Niro, if these people weren't, didn't go on and express themselves truly and followed their dreams and wanted to become an actor, what would the world be like? But it's that going into the future with no idea of what's going to happen. It's a beautiful, brilliant thing, but actually what then can happen is that our ego will kick in and trying to make some sort of decision based for us. And it's that unknown factor that really starts to allow our limiting beliefs, our conditioning, our 8-year-old conversations to really, really kick in and push us down a path that we don't want to be in, which is why in the next series of videos, we're going to look at things like sticking in comfort, our ego making us stick in comfort, even though that's often leading us to unfulfillment, and looking into different areas of our limiting beliefs, why do we have them, what they are. Because now we're starting to understand perhaps the mechanisms and reasons why we are on autopilot, why we are making all of these decisions in our lives rather than choice. Going on to make the choice requires us to start tackling these limiting beliefs and conversations that are coming up. And that's what we're going to address in the next few videos. See you in the next video. So if you want to see more videos like this and truly understand how this all fits into finding your life's purpose and implementing it, then you can check out my course by that very same title on Udemy by clicking on the link in the description below. I will take you from the conception of a new life to a state of being where you will create exactly the life you want and understand how to get paid for it. So click the link in the description below if that sounds like something you'd like to pursue. I'll see you soon.